Guys, this is Latina, your favorite community advocate. I'm so sorry it's been a while since I last posted, but I just want to do a quick response to the Democratic Party and the politicians who are fear-mongering and trying to push for more people to stay on SNAP benefits and public assistance, especially the politicians here in New York. I just want to say this. For years, for decades, you guys have been doing handouts instead of giving something more rewarding to the community where they can actually benefit for themselves and for the younger generation and for future generations. All you have done was pacify them, give them SNAP benefits, give them CityFHEPS, which is a program that pays for their housing for 4 years. You've been giving them Medicaid and all these freebies and not cracking down on whether or not if they should be working. You've been like hindering all of it because you want to keep your base, because that's your base. I just want to say that what President Trump is doing is amazing. We need to get people back up and working. They need to be contributing to society and paying taxes, not living off of the system. I, for one, as a tenant leader here in the Bronx, I've seen so many people abuse the system, and you have like people who are well into their 50s, 60s. I'm talking about both women and men have been on the system for more than 15 years, which is messed up. It's effed up, right? And the taxpayers are footing the bill for it. Why can't these people go to work? Why can't these people go to school, take up a trade, and do their fair share? They should be paying taxes and contributing like in society, right? Instead, you know what they're doing? Getting high. You can smell the marijuana, smoking crack. I had a tenant recently beneath me smoking crack while I'm at home working, and you can smell the crack coming up into my apartment. This is what I have to deal with, on a daily basis. Of course, I reported it, but that's besides the point. These are not people who are trying to get back out there to work. These are people who are feeding and mooching off of the system because the politicians, the Democrats, position them to do these things because they keep giving out the handouts. This is why the United States is in debt, because there's been nothing but scams. There's been theft, right? These people should be working. They're drinking, getting high, making babies, stealing, abusing the system, and you guys let it happen. So now that the president is cracking down on these things, you're afraid because you're about to lose your base now. You're worried about how are you guys going to get reelected into office because that was part of your platform, the handouts. It needs to stop. And somebody needs to look into the CityFHEPS program because after the 4 years is up, they know how to get around the system. What they're doing now is that they'll purposely not pay their rent because you have to contribute, I think, 20 or 30% to your rent. They won't pay it on purpose, wait to get evicted, go into a shelter, and then they re-enlist for the CityFHEPS program and they get another 4 years of rent-free. They're like, and you need to be investigating the workers inside of these programs because they're giving them the hookups. Nobody's monitoring these things. This is just a waste of money. And I think that for these programs, after 2 years, you're on your own. It should be mandatory that they enlist into a work program, that they enlist into, at least trade school. They should be contributing, not living off of the system. It's sad to see that, we have a party that wants to keep people dependent on the government. And if you speak up about it, so help me God, they'll call me every name out the book because I don't support, Black and Hispanic. I don't care what race you are. So if you're able to work and function the same way you can get up and go to the corner store to buy a 40 or get a blunt or whatever you want to call it, you can get your asses up and go to work. No matter what it is, you can go and work and contribute to society. Be the better example for your children. And shame on the Democratic elected officials for trying to shove, public assistance and SNAP benefits down our throats instead of trying to address the problem of, what's really happening in the community, which is we need more jobs, access to jobs. We need, some people don't know how to write a resume. Some people don't, they don't know who to go to help them write these resumes. They don't know the tools that's out there. Some of them can't even read. I'm going to be honest with you. They can't, because some of them dropped out of school so early. We need to bring back the co-op program, all of these things that was once available. We need to bring it back, and we need to educate them, not keep them on government assistance. That is only temporary assistance. SNAP benefits is for those who are working, and you need just that little push to help you get by until you can find something, a job that can pay more. I'm not saying stay in a job and make $15 an hour and you can't pay your bills. And that's another problem. We need to increase the minimum wage. And we need to pay people their worth. If they have a skill or a trade, pay them. But do better. Do better. Thank you.